So in this tutorial, we're going to look at how to find the inverse of a function. And let's just remind ourselves of a bit of notation first. A function f can be written either in the form f of x, like that, with a bracket, equals something, or this form you will see occasionally, f colon x goes to something, which reminds us that it's a mapping. They mean exactly the same thing, so you can use them interchangeably. Right, our process, if you like, for doing this is first of all to write the function in the form y equals rather than f of x equals, swap the x's and y's over, so wherever you see an x, write y, and vice versa. That actually is the inverting bit. It's the same as reflecting it in the line y equals x. We then rearrange to get y equals again, and finally we just replace the y with an f inverse of x, or perhaps f inverse colon x arrow if that's what they've asked for. So let's do a couple of questions just to show you how this works. So the first one, we're asked to find the inverse function of f of x equals 3x minus 1. Well, step 1 says write the function in the form y equals. So y equals 3x minus 1, there we go. And then it says swap the x's and the y's. So that's what I'm going to do. I see y at the beginning, so I write x, and I see x next to the 3, so I write y. And I get x equals 3y minus 1. Then step 3 says rearrange to get y equals. So we start that process by adding 1 to both sides, and that gives me x plus 1 equals 3y. And I want to get the y on its own, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And of course, if I do that, I cancel the 3's on the right hand side, and I get, if I write it the other way around, y equals x plus 1 over 3. And finally, I write that as f inverse, f to the minus 1 of x equals x plus 1 over 3. And the process is complete. Now, what about another question, slightly more complicated question, not much. This time they've written it in that nasty form, g colon x is mapped to, that's what the arrow means, and so obviously we have to give our answer in that form too. But the process is exactly the same. So we write down y equals, first of all, y equals x squared plus 1 over 3. We're then going to swap the x's and the y's over, and so we get x equals y squared plus 1 over 3, and then we start the process of rearranging. And we are going to first of all multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of the fractions, which of course on the right means the 3's cancel, and that gives me 3x equals y squared plus 1. Subtract the 1's from both sides, and that gives me 3x minus 1 equals y squared. Now I don't want y squared, I want y, so I'm going to square root the y squared to get y, which of course means I have to square root the 3x minus 1 as well. And again, writing that the other way around, y equals the square root of 3x minus 1. And now all that remains is to write it in the correct form, which they've asked us to do it that way. So this is g inverse colon x is mapped to root 3x minus 1. And there is our inverse function. I hope that process is quite straightforward for you.